Hi, I'm Claire from Comms Partner, and today we're going to talk about various audiovisual considerations when looking at the average meeting room. So if we look at this meeting room, which is one of our ones, we're looking at probably about a 3 by 6 meter meeting room. The first thing that people normally want to consider is the display system. So in a room of this size, this is a 65-inch LED TV, which is perfect for this kind of environment. We generally are moving towards flat panel displays, and the reason being that projectors for the size of the display that we're getting here are more expensive from a labor perspective and from a hardware perspective and from a maintenance perspective. So TV in this scenario is more than sufficient. You've got your visual. From an audio perspective, for the cost-conscious client, you can just use the built-in speakers. For those of us who have a little bit more budget to spend and who want a bit more better sound quality or reproduction of sound, especially when there's video conferencing at play, we can look at the Crestron soundbar. It just gives that better voice reproduction. When we look at video conferencing, you'll notice that the camera is actually positioned below the screen. A lot of people like to position cameras above the screen. Problem with that is it tends to give you that eagle eye, or bird's eye view rather, of the people present. So for the remote sites, you're not getting that true-to-life experience. It needs to feel like everyone's sitting at the same table. And all of these heights that you see here are based on your seated height or your table height. Everything needs to lend itself to the meeting room experience, so technology isn't an obstruction but more part of the experience. So now that we've spoken about visual, we've spoken about audio, the other consideration is, of course, how do we actually get our content, our laptops, across onto the display. So in this room, we have a Crestron table connectivity box. And if you look inside, you'll see over here, we've got the various connector cables in order for someone to bring in their laptop and be able to present seamlessly. Further to that, if we look at other products that we have in this room that we like to put forward for the smaller meeting room environment, is a Crestron Mercury. This device we've actually spoken about before and we'll go into detail in another video, allows a user to not only have a SIP conference phone on their table, it actually also shows the room availability on the touchscreen in front. You can present via the HDMI cable, which I actually showed earlier on in that Crestron connectivity box. And there's also AirMedia. AirMedia is basically Crestron's wireless connectivity tool. So this one device could essentially take the place of this Crestron cable connectivity box, and the cables actually then fed and lay around on this section of the table. That is great for users who want to come in with a laptop, plug it in, and use the software on their laptop, like Skype for Business or WebEx or Zoom potentially, and just leverage off that software and use Crestron Mercury as their mic and speaker, and the camera on top of the screen for the visual for the remote site. If we have a bit more budget to spend and the video experience needs to be that much more on point, we have the Starleaf system that you see on the front of the table over there. That is a nice, easy to use touch panel. And what we particularly like about Starleaf is that it's got a simple one-touch join meeting facility. And at the end of the day, that's what technology is supposed to be. It's supposed to be simple. At a click of a button, you join the meeting starts. So what that essentially means is, from a IT perspective, there's no longer those panicked calls of how do I get into this meeting, how do we initiate this phone call. It's all simple. So one of the things that we all take for granted, that's not something that we actually see in this room, is lighting conditions. Lighting conditions in this room is very, very good. We've put a lot of thought into it, and especially from a video conferencing perspective, if you don't want shadows on your face for the remote site to pick up on, then the lighting is imperative. So those are all the considerations when thinking of your meeting room: your audio, your visual, your table connectivity, the lighting conditions, and last but not least, the sound acoustics. Acoustics in this room is pretty decent. If you didn't have great acoustics, then consider it could be the acoustic treated ceiling tiles. You could also look at the wall panels. We've got a wide variety of wall panels that can be considered. Nice thing about them is you can actually select an image that you want and have it printed on there. So it looks as artwork, part of in the boardroom environment, as opposed to just a random block on your wall. And that's it. That's it for our average audiovisual boardroom. Thank you for joining us.